What do you got on the mini truck, MJ?
This is terrible. I hate these things. Why would you do this to a truck? Why would you want to put the frame on the ground? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wrenches in my top drawer. Hey, what's up, guys? This is MJ, and today we have a mystery automotive story from Dane. This is my friend Dane. I usually have him on the podcast, and I'll look at some automotive stories and get his reaction. But today we're going to let Dane decide what we talk about, and then I'm going to react. I don't even know what he's going to say right now. So let's hand it over to Dane.
That's right. We're flipping the script today. I'm in charge. I got the wheel. And today we're going deep inside the brain of MJ 100K.
Uh-oh.
So for those of you that don't know, me and MJ used to have this conversation that went back and forth, more of a debate, used to go back and forth from time to time. I mean, it came up, when we first started doing this little podcast, over the summer, like modified cars versus stock cars, right? I'm a do what you will, have fun, enjoy your life, modify at your leisure. And MJ is don't touch a thing. It is perfect from the factory. Would you agree or disagree with that statement?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
I'll modify a couple little things here and there, but for
Small
now,
thing.
I like to keep it stock for the most part.
Cool. So what I did today was I put together a list of 10 different common vehicle modification genres. And so we're going to go through these and I want a rating, a 1 to 10. You can give me tenths if you want. So like if something sucks, you can get like a 2.3. And then I got some questions at the end. All
Okay,
right. You ready to roll, bud?
let's go.
All right. So I'll open this up here. First one on the list is the pre-runner. So for those of you guys that are audio only, I'll do my best to describe what we're looking at. We got two photos of a pre-runner pickup. They're actually both different trucks. One's a regular cab Ford truck. It's got wide fenders in the front, wide bed size. It's got all kinds of suspension travel for going over rough terrain. These things were designed for kind of what it sounds like pre-running. So in desert racing, you'd have a desert racing truck or buggy or what have you. And in those classes, a lot of times you're allowed to pre-run the course. So guys would build their daily drivers into these pre-runners so they could pre-run and chart the course out for their race vehicles. So the idea here with a pre-runner is keep it street legal, but again, very capable to go really fast off road, handle rough terrain, and of course, get some air. So in the second photo, you got a white, like 99 to 2002 Chevy pickup extended cab that not high off the ground, but you can see how much suspension travel it's got. It's got probably close to 25 or more inches in the rear suspension travel, 15 to 18 up front. So MJ, let's hear what you got on this one.
Well, you want me to pick one?
No, don't pick one. Tell me what your thoughts are on this kind of modification.
All right, like my thoughts on modifications right now, like especially for this, like I would be into this like if I needed to be, like let's say
Mm-hmm.
if somebody dropped us off in the Australian outback or in Saudi Arabia or something in the middle of the desert, and
Yep.
we had to figure out how to make these trucks work properly in the desert. Like
Yep.
that's when I would want to do something like this, right? I would be totally into it and try to
Yeah.
figure out everything about it. But like in America, like I've never gone off-roading. I I,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get it. I don't know why people do that.
That's fine. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 being this is ridiculous, you should get hit in the head with a hammer, and 10 being this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, what's the rating on this one?
Uh I don't know. I don't know. Like I'd have to actually like see if it's functional. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Like just
yep.
looking at them, I don't know. The orange one looks pretty cool. It's got that little shield in the front that keeps stuff from going underneath of it.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's got a skid
Like to
plate,
me,
two bumpers. Yep.
like stuff that works and is functional and is for a purpose is cool. Like if you took me, like I know we're they used to go off-roading around here.
Yep.
Like I would never go there and just try to get some air like Like, what if you go down and the airbags go off and you get hurt or something?
You take those suckers right out.
You gotta remember, I'm a nerd.
Oh, don't worry. It only gets better from here.
But the orange is good though. I mean, at least that shield in the front is functional.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That thing's good, and that's kind of what that's designed for is high clearance, right? So if you need to go over shrubbery, boulders, sometimes these guys are going 100 plus miles an hour over like dirt whoops, so that can be bumps that are spread out, 10 to 15 feet apart, but then be 4 or 5 foot deep, and they got that suspension has to work and move, going across this. It'd be cool if I had some video to throw in here too, watching the suspensions move. They're pretty awesome. So what do you say, bud? Scale 1 to 10. 1 being stupid, 10 being cool. What do you got?
I don't know. I think it'd be extremely cool if I could use it.
Yeah.
So 10, I guess I could say 10 if
Oh,
you're going to actually use it,
yeah.
for a purpose.
Right. Cool.
Like
Ready for the next one?
I respect what they're doing. Like
Oh, yeah.
they have those off-road trucks have some really cool stuff. Like I remember our friend Tom's Jeep had a
Yep.
sway bar that would like it could disconnect.
Yep.
Like he could
Get
tell
that.
it to disconnect so that way it could have more suspension travel. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep, more articulation. Yeah. So yeah, these things, since I'm a metal guy and do a lot of fabrication, stuff like this is kind of dreamy to me because these guys build these things super, super tough. There's a lot of engineering and design that goes into them to making these things robust, just so
Yeah,
they don't
like I
fail.
respect that. I respect the innovations
Yep.
that people come up with on all sides. But like just me in my life right now, like I wouldn't do something like this right now.
Doesn't fit the MJ 100K lifestyle.
Send me and Dane to the moon, or send me and Dane to Mars, and then
Yeah.
we will construct like the perfect Mars vehicle. It'll
Yeah.
be so cool. But
Then we'll
like
make
right
it
now I'm on Earth, so I don't need to do that.
happen. Okay. Ready for the next one?
Yep.
All right. Next one. Drift car. I'm sure you've seen these before, right?
Yeah.
So guys take their daily and want to go slide around sideways. So common modifications are going to be adding a lot of steering angle. You can see that in both these pictures. I think the top's a 240 SX. And the bottom's a Mustang. I think it's Von Gittin Jr.'s Mustang. And they are sideways, throwing a lot of smoke. These things usually got lots of added horsepower. So turbos, nitrous, superchargers, bigger displacement engines. Suspensions usually have solid bushings, so they're going to be a harsh ride, and that's so you minimize all deflection. Coilover is usually going to have these things pretty low and stiff, so ride's terrible, but they go sideways really well. What do you got on this one, MJ?
Well, again, this is a thing that's a form over function again, and it looks like this is like a sport, just drifting. I've
Yep.
never been to a drifting event, but it looks like something that I would try to do. Like I would like to go to maybe like a drifting course
Yep.
and learn like exactly how you do it properly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would try that. I would try it. I'm not sure what other modifications do they make like other than camber and solid bushings.
Yeah, so the steering angle allows them to go really sideways while still keeping control. If you ever like play with your car in the snow and the back end comes around so much to where you can't correct the steering anymore because you ran out of front steer. So they have a lot of extra. So the wheels will actually turn way further than what they normally would in a stock vehicle, for one, and then two, they use usually a harder compound tire to help them slide. Unless you have a lot of horsepower, then you wouldn't need that. Sway bars are going to be extra stiff to keep the car really flat and planted. So that way, when it starts sliding, it stays sliding, flat. It doesn't start to lean up on one side. A lot of times they'll cage them to make the chassis stiffer. Almost everything that you're going to do modification wise is just to make the car stiffer overall and make it more flickable.
All right. Well, you do know I used to have a 240 SX.
I do. I figured
And
this might be a little near
really
to your
love
heart.
driving that car.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, one time I was running late for work, and I had to drive like far away, and I
Yep.
had to get there really fast. So we went this way called it's this area called Lincoln Drive. It's a
Mhm.
road, and there's all these twists and turns and everything, and there's nowhere for like even police officers to sit. So everybody
Mhm.
goes through there like super fast.
Yeah.
So it was just like in Fast and Furious 3, where they're
Mhm.
drifting up the mountain and they're going around all those curves. It's kind of like that.
Mhm.
So and it was a stick shift too. I opened this thing up because I had to get to work, and it was the most fun ever driving that car because it handles like so perfectly. And I was
Oh
just
yeah.
in love with that car afterwards. So I was thinking if I ever, as a weird project, what I would like to do one day, and I probably won't, but it's just an idea, is if I had the 240SX and like
Mhm.
unlimited funds, I would try to hook up some autonomous driving features to it
Mhm.
so that it could drift without me touching the wheel.
That'd be
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? Like it could have all the radar going, it could have the LiDAR, the radar, the cameras, and I would program it so perfectly to where it could drift like within like a half an inch of hitting stuff.
That'd be fun.
So that's what I think would be fun. But yeah, I like drifting. I would like to learn drifting if I had money to
Yeah, it
put
looks like
into
a whole bunch
projects
of
like that.
fun. Yeah. Yeah, the only drifting I've done has been on dirt or in the snow, never on concrete with a car like this, but man, it looks like a blast.
Yeah, it's fun.
Cool. 1 to 10. What's your rating on this one?
I don't know. Just for as a sport and not actually hurting people and being dangerous on a real road, I would say 10. I like
All right, we're going full cool factor on this one.
it.
All right, bud. Next one up, the mall crawler. Do
What is that?
you know about the mall crawler?
I don't know.
All right, audio people. So for those that are not able to watch this on YouTube, what we have is two pictures of Jeeps. And this Jeep has got both of them, every bolt on you can think of. It's got bumpers, it's got winch, it's got light bars, it's got 24-inch wheels. This thing's never going to see a speck of gravel, dirt, or anything in its life. It's only made for crawling around the concrete. So you're either going to have guys that think they're real tough driving these things that aren't, or teenage girls that have a lot of daddy's money to spend. So let's get your thoughts, MJ.
Yeah, like I was saying, I like stuff that's functional.
Yeah.
So even drifting like as a sport, and if you're off road, like if you're actually going off road for a reason, then that's functional. But
Mm-hmm.
something like this that's totally not functional, I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like a waste of money. I know there's these tires that stick out the side, like they flick up dirt on people when they stick out further than their guards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like those.
Yeah, like, yeah, I'm with you. You can say it's dumb. We can get the hate mail rolling in.
So waste of money.
Dude, it really is. Like these people just buy these things and buy everything out of the catalog they can buy for it and cruise it around. And it's like, but for what? It's at the point where it just looks ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I met somebody from Texas one time,
Yep.
and they described people that wear cowboy hats, but they're not like real cowboys,
Yep.
and they never rode a horse or anything. I think they called them like all hat, no cattle or something.
No kidding. Yeah, this is kind of like that. Like real Jeepers, real off-roaders are usually going to be in something that costs about 2,000 bucks, and they might have another couple grand into accessories, and it is beat up, but they built tougher than hell because they want to put them through the ringer. This stuff, where you're buying brand new stuff off the lot and bolting everything you can, mall crawler.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, 1 to 10. What do you got on this one?
Thumbs down, 0.
Zero. Oh, not even a one.
Yeah, they just spend a lot of money for nothing.
Yeah, I'm with you. That one's bottom of the barrel right there. All right. Ready for the next one, bud?
Yes, sir.
All right. This one is getting, well, why is my computer being all screwy? There we go. Now this is getting popular.
What is this?
Are you familiar with drag and drives?
No.
So years ago, Motor Trend did an event called Like they do like Hot Rod Power Tour, but then they also do like Hot Rod Drag Week. And what Drag Week is you take your race car and they have multiple tracks that you need to go to in that week. Usually 5 tracks would be a good number. So one day you need to make a pass, you turn that time slip in. You can actually make multiple passes in the same day if you want. Turn it in your fastest time slip if you want. And then now you have to drive to the next event. You don't have a crew that follows you. You can't load your car on a trailer. You have to drive your drag car to the next event. And so that next event, same thing. You got to make a pass, turn in your fastest pass. Some of these guys have classes where they can't go too fast. They actually cap you. So let's say 850 quarter mile time is the fastest you can go. If they break out and go over, they're going to want to run again and try and get close to it without going over and turn that time slip in. So it's not uncommon to see cars that are 2,000 horsepower or more. The photo we have on top is Tom Bailey's car. He is owner of Sick the Mag, and he's got a handful of cars that are real fast. That's a full tube, basically pro mod car. I think it's been faster than 6 seconds in a quarter mile, and it's still quote unquote a street car. So horn, blinkers, everything it needs to be road legal. The car on the bottom is called Snot Rocket. I forget the name of the owner of that car, but he just won the last Sick Week drag race, where he did over 1,000 miles. That one goes through like Florida and Georgia, and they hit 4 tracks, I believe, maybe 5 tracks. And he won the overall, and not even the premier class. He's like a step below. So, so common modifications to these cars, everything. Everything. So the car on the bottom, I know that one a little bit because it was at PRI when I was there. It's got a fairly stock Coyote engine. So a 5-liter that would have been in a Ford Mustang. It's got, I believe, twin turbos. It's got one-piece front end. It's got full cage, certified down to, I think, 650 or maybe faster. You see it's got a smaller tire in the rear, unlike the one above that's got like a big, huge tire. So I think he's running one of the spec tire classes. Like I say, a fiberglass front end. There's a lot done for weight reduction here. There are 2 seats inside. They're race seats, so pretty uncomfortable. And the other thing here too is if you want tools to go on these events, you need to carry them. So that's what like the trailer's for, that Tom Bailey's towing. Snot Rocket as well has a trailer that it tows. So anyways, let's get your thoughts on this.
It's pretty cool. I mean, this is like just another sport like drifting that people will pay to go to look at it. And I like the fact that they have to actually make the car functional and drive to the next race. That's pretty cool. I can respect that. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I'll give it an 8.
8? All right, I like that. Yeah, these guys, there's kind of like 2 different methods of these drag and drives. You can kind of just take your, like proven power plant, and set up configuration and go and kind of have a good, fun, chill weekend, but you're not going to win. And then there's the guys that are going to have a miserable time all week long because they don't stop working on their cars. Like when these guys are getting ready to race, they put them in like race trim. So they change fuel system. They usually have dual tanks, like a race fuel tank and then like a street tank. So you can run like full methanol on one and then like gasoline on the other. Crank the boost way up, all that stuff. They'll usually run different tires and whatnot. So there's a lot of work that those guys do to go really, really, really fast and then also be reliable. So yeah, big props to those guys. Right on. Next one, ready? The rally car.
Oh, yeah.
So we got, let's see, a Subaru and a Toyota something in the pictures here for you audio only people. Common modifications here are going to be more suspension travel is going to be really big on these. You're going to have sticky off-road dirt tires, extra lighting. You're going to have roll cage, probably some aero, like a wing in the back. And these things are usually all-wheel drive for extra traction because you're always on loose surfaces. You're rarely on a tarmac or a concrete. You're going to be on gravel, dirt roads, even snow and ice sometimes. So, MJ, what do you got on the rally car modifications?
Why do they have all the lights? Do they make them drive at night?
Oh yeah, they got to drive at night as fast as they can on sketchy roads.
So, like, how long are these races?
Usually they're in stages. So stages can be anywhere from a couple miles to 20 would be really long, but probably somewhere between like 3 and 15 would be like an average stage. And they'll do multiple stages in an event. So like a typical rally, you might do 3 or 4 stages a day over 2 to 3 days.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, this like this is another sport or event that people pay to see, so
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. I like that. I think that some of the things they learn from rally cars, they actually apply in real on-road cars.
Oh yeah.
Like I know Subaru is into this kind of stuff, and Mitsubishi Evo, I think, used to do this.
Yep.
So
Audi.
yeah, I think it's good. They could learn a lot of stuff that and apply them to actual cars. And I don't know if World War III breaks out, we might actually need these rally cars to get around and run around away from whatever gang is in charge.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it could be if you need to go somewhere in a hurry on some unstable roads. This is what you want, probably.
Yeah, I give it a 9 probably because for the real world applications.
I like it. Yeah, these things just look like a blast. Yeah, like I said, full cage, lots of control, lots of steering, lots of horsepower. Good times. All right, next up, you've got your time attack and autocross modifications. Are you familiar with this?
Time attack. No, what
Yeah.
is this?
So time attack is I'm sure you're familiar with like road racing, right? So
Yeah.
time attack would be you bring your car to the track, and it doesn't have to be a street car, but a lot of guys do run street cars in these. But the idea is to do one fast lap, and so you're not on the course racing door to door with other cars, having to worry about getting dinged and beat up. You're doing solo runs. So usually they give you a warm up lap, a timed lap, and then a cool down lap. And the objective is to go as obviously as fast as you can in your class, so that you're comparing times against other drivers in your race class. The autocross is similar, except it's usually in a parking lot, and there's usually cones laid out that gives you your course. Same kind of deal. You get attempts to go as fast as you can. You run solo, so you're not door to door with other cars. Except one of the big differences here, of course, is one's on a road course, one's kind of in a parking lot. It's a homemade type of course for that day. But in the autocross, if you hit a cone, you get dock time as well. So you need to make sure when you go fast, you're not knocking over any cones. So have you seen cars with these modifications? What's your thoughts on this?
Uh, I haven't learned about this before, but yeah, this seems like it's like a like to see if you're like the best driver,
Yeah.
like which is a really good sport. It seemed like this is more focused on the driver than the car,
Yeah.
but the car is important too, obviously.
Yeah,
But
it's a
yeah,
little bit of both.
I don't know. I wouldn't even. It's weird because I could drive a little bit. It's
Hmm.
just that since I've gotten older, like I'd like to drive slow. But when I was younger, I used to drive really fast, like you know, when I wasn't supposed to be driving fast.
Yep.
I used to love it, but I don't know. I'm just not into it that much anymore. But
Hmm.
I think if you could send me back in time, I would like to do something like this and learn how to drive
Hmm.
like a professional.
Yep.
Like right now, I could drive pretty good, but I'm not anywhere near as good as these guys.
Yeah. Some of these guys are absolute maniacs. And
I'm more I'm into more like fixing the car and
yep.
designing stuff than actually driving it like a maniac. I could tell you, when I worked at Toyota, I went to they make you get like a Toyota license.
Hmm.
So they want to make sure you could drive. So you got to pass like one test for regular license, and
Hmm.
then there's another test called like middle class, and then
Hmm.
there's ones even above that. So they sent me
Hmm.
to Toyota Arizona Proving Grounds to like learn different driving techniques, and they had
Yep.
a course like course is similar to this,
Hmm.
but you'll be going straight for a while, and then you'll be doing all these curves, and then this giant curve, and then you go straight as fast as you can, and then another curve.
Hmm.
So I was doing those, and I wasn't doing so well. And then they told me, like, you have to memorize this course. And I was like, why didn't you tell me I didn't memorize the course? They were like,
Yeah.
well, we figured you kept doing it over and over again, you'd memorize it. I was like, no, you have to tell me that. So I memorized the course, and then I was able to pass, but like I barely passed the middle class.
Mhm.
They was about to fail me. And
Oh
then
no.
they figured out, I told them, I was like, look, I'm just in charge of testing Priuses. I don't drive that fast. They're like, fine, let them pass.
All right, fine. You get to go. Oh, but imagine if that Prius had like extra arrow on it, like these, spoiler in the rear,
Uh,
that the canards on the side.
oh my God, that would be crazy.
Yeah. All right. What do you got on the autocross time attack? What's your rating for this guy?
It's good. It's good because it teaches people how to drive really good. And
Yep.
that's a good thing. Maybe 9.
Give it a 9. All right. Like it. All right. Moving on. We've got the mini truck. Do you know about the mini truck?
Oh, I know that they exist.
So common mini trucks are going to be like your Nissan hard bodies, your Ford Rangers, your S10s, yeah, Chevy Colorados, that kind of stuff. And so typically you're going to have a bagged or air ride suspension, so you can lay frame on the ground, and then to get the body to match, also laying on the ground because usually the frames hang a little lower. They actually cut the body so the body lays further over the frame and re-weld it all back together to bring it down. A lot of these trucks are going to have crazy stereos in them. They're going to have wild paint jobs. Yeah, have you ever seen like the old videos of these things cruising down the highway and guys drop the bags and frame hits and they throw sparks all over the place?
No.
No? Well, it's a thing. It used to be anyways. Mini trucks were super popular back in like the 90s, hence the paint. So what do you got on the mini truck, MJ?
This is terrible. I hate these things. Why would you do this to a truck? Why would you want to put the frame on the ground? You got your brake lines under there. You got your emission, your friggin' charcoal canister down there. You're just gonna scrape up everything.
Yeah, you got to move all that stuff.
This is the biggest waste of money I ever saw in my life. The only thing that's interesting about these to me is the paint. The
Yeah.
paint colors are pretty interesting. I do like some cool paint, some
Yeah.
creative ideas for the different colors. I don't know. I give it like a 2 just
We give
because
it
of
a
the paint.
2.
Other than that, this is a waste of time.
All right, you're gonna have all the mini truckers in
This is
your
no
comments.
practical application for this.
Nope, it's
Terrible.
just for the way it looks. Yep. So pivoting a little bit, what do you think about lowriders, like with hydraulics and crazy paint jobs?
I do like the paint jobs on lowriders, and I think the interiors look kind
Yep.
of interesting sometime. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't like them. I don't see a reason why they need to be bouncing around. It does look cool though.
Yeah.
It does look cool. Like I could understand that a little bit more than these mini trucks
Hmm.
because I think a lot of people in California do lowriders,
Yep.
and there it's like the weather's good, so it does look cool.
Yep. All right. MJ hates mini trucks. Tell him in
No,
the comments how he's wrong. Moving on, opposite end of the spectrum, lifted trucks. So we've got a couple of wild pickups here, both Fords, Super Duties. One that's probably got about 8 to 12 inches of lift on probably some 37-inch tires and like 26-inch wheels with a huge dish to lip. And then below that, another Ford Super Duty. And this one's got all painted suspension. It's got shiny everything underneath of it. It's got rock lights, aftermarket bumpers, just absolutely nutso. What do you got on the lifted truck, MJ?
um, I don't particularly like them myself, but at least there's some application for these. Like if there's a flood, like
Yeah.
I know I saw there was a picture. There was like a giant flood somewhere, I guess it's Houston or something,
Yeah.
And this guy had something like this with giant tires and giant lifted suspension. He was just going through the flood. He was like, "Yeah, who's laughing now?"
Told you this would come in handy one day.
Yeah, so I don't know. I wouldn't do it personally. I remember our friend Tom, he had his Jeep and I think he lifted it up some,
Yep.
and I was driving it on the highway and it was all over the place. And I was like, I don't want to drive this no more. I think I let you drive. I was like, get me out of this freaking thing.
I drove that Jeep when it was new, and it still drove like that. Jeeps just drive terribly.
Uh,
They're
but
terrible.
yeah, I mean, this is all right. I mean, maybe a 5. At least you could use
5.
it in a flood.
Right on. All right, moving on. We've got 3 left. Stanced. Do you know about the stanced?
Yeah, I've seen people do that. I don't know why they do that.
So for the audio only people, again, top is a 90s Toyota Supra, and it is basically laying the body on the concrete. And there is a ton of negative camber on the front and rear wheels to get this thing as low as possible. It's also got the biggest rims it can possibly put on it with like rubber bands wrapped around it. So there's almost no tire there at all. And below that is basically the same thing, just the BMW version. Looks like a 328i. So it's a 2-door BMW, like a mid 2000s E46. Same thing. Tons of negative camber. Body's almost on the ground. Huge rims, and probably 22-inch wheels, or maybe even bigger. Who knows? With skinny little rubber band tires. So MJ, tell me all about the stance. What do you got on this?
God, I hate these cars. I hate it when I see these cars. If I was a police officer, I would pull them over and give them a ticket. They're not safe, because when you have that much negative camber,
Yep.
if you hit a bump, you could just go flying. They call it bump steer.
Yep.
Yeah, these cars are not safe to drive. They don't look cool. And whoever did this to Supra should I don't know, they should be put in prison.
I know. Do you know how much those
Car
cars are worth
accessory
now?
prison. How dare you mess up
Oh,
one of the best cars ever made, even though
no.
it's not as good as the GTR, but
Yeah,
still,
it's
it's very
close.
good.
Yeah, yeah, completely ruined it. Same, like those E46 BMWs. I love those things. Why'd you ruin it? Like,
No,
damn it.
it's ridiculous.
What do you got? You got negative points in this one?
No, I'm only staying on the scale.
Okay.
What's the lowest scale? Is it 1?
Well, technically one's the lowest, but you gave the mall crawler a 0, so you can go 0 again.
Well, I meant to give it a 1. I like to stay on the scale,
Okay.
because if you're not on the scale, then you technically don't exist.
Lowest rating possible. It gets a 1.
Yes.
All right. Well, I lied. There's only one left. So number 10. Ready?
Yeah.
The Resto Mod. So in these 2 photos, the top is the Legend Series pickup from Roadster Shop. It has got a full custom chassis done to a very, very high level, independent front suspension. It's got leaf spring rear, but it's like coil shocks all around. The body's been completely restored to an original style. It's got a little bit bigger wheels and tires. The engine on this one has got, I believe, an LT4, so it's a supercharged Chevy engine, like what would have came in a Corvette. It's got a 6-speed or 8-speed automatic transmission. The interior is like all leather, super nice. The car below it is a second gen Firebird, or Trans Am actually. And same kind of deal. And it's like full tube suspension. I mean, built for absolutely, cruising down the road. Awesome. Tons of horsepower. So it's kind of a do everything, but do it fast kind of car. Should have good ride quality, good sound, good handling. All the modern amenities into an old looking vehicle. So MJ, what do you got on this?
Oh, I love this one.
Which one?
Both of them.
Both of them? Yeah, dude, that truck.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's actually environmentally conscious, or
Yeah.
it's environmentally responsible to restore older cars like this and to keep using them.
Yep.
It's actually better than buying new cars. But yeah, this is great. I wish I could have a show like this. Like you remember the show Pimp My Ride?
Oh yeah.
And they take the cars and they change them all up.
Yep.
If I had a show, it'd be called Unpimp My Ride. Now, we'll take all that nonsense off, and I would do like this. I would bring them back to their former glory.
Yeah, make it practical with MJ 100K.
Absolutely.
That's what we can call your new TV show.
Nerdiness and practicality with MJ 100K.
There you go. Cool, man. What do you got on this one?
It's 10.
10. All right, I like it. So now I'm going to make you pick two things. The first thing I want you to pick is, out of these 10 different types of modified vehicles I've showed you, which one would you buy today if I put a gun to your head? Would you do
This
the
one
rest
right
of
here. The rest
this
of
with the
them.
rest of mod? Okay, that's the easy one, right?
Absolutely.
All right, now same but opposite. Gun to your head, you got to throw one of these guys in jail, and you got to kill his whole family because he's so stupid that he screwed his car up completely. Which one's it going to
Probably
be?
that the stance.
The stance.
Yeah, I hate that one.
Yeah, one rung below mini trucks.
Oh, terrible.
I can't believe you're hating on the mini trucks. I like mini trucks.
Yeah, I don't like mini trucks either.
But the stance, that's the one. He's going to jail.
Like, why do you want to scrape your frame on the ground?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it, man. But yeah, out of all these things, I'm with you. This or the mall crawler. That's going to be my bottom two. I don't get the mall crawler.
So your bottom ones are the stance and the mall crawler?
Yeah. Flip a coin and then make them all legal.
Yeah.
MJ, guys, that's all I got.
All right. Well, so Dane, you are finished. Thank you for hosting the show today. And we will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good one.
Yep. See you guys.